Oh, hey, Wonder World. How the fuck are you guys today? We're talking all about public speaking virtually. So, we're talking about speaking in other people's groups. We're talking about speaking on fucking live summits, maybe even going into other people's programs to be a guest speaker. All of the ways that you can do this and all of the ways that this can actually get you clients and make you money because I know that you joined a group called Client Attraction Secrets because, bitch, you want more clients, right? That's what we're here for. We're here for more clients. Yes, say hey when you're popping on in the comments. Speaking of getting more clients, let's get some more eyes on your offer today. So just take a couple seconds and in the comments, let's get more eyes on your offer as we're about to hit 35,000 fucking entrepreneurs in here. So go ahead and drop in anything to do with your offer today. Tell us about how to join your Facebook group. Give us some fucking heads up on your lead magnet. Tell us all the motherfucking things about what you do, who the fuck you are, and why the fuck we should listen to you. Just take a second, put it in the comments because that is actually one of the public speaking secrets that we're going to lead with today. So, guys, how the fuck are we, right? How the fuck are we? So, have you ever, first and foremost, have you ever done public speaking virtually before? Let's start there. Okay. Let's get a baseline for what's going on in the audience today. Have you ever done public speaking virtually? And I don't just mean like public speaking in your platform. Okay. Like, yes, you've probably gone live. Okay. But going live in somebody else's world or being on an interview or being in a summit or being in somebody else's delivery system is a lot different than doing it with your own audience. Because, guys, this is my audience, right? I built it 5 years ago. I started this fucking Facebook group, and this was actually right when Facebook Lives first started. And if you don't know this about me, I'm an introvert. Okay, I'm an introvert, and I did not want to go live, like literally at all. I did not want to do it. But the thing is that here in my safe little microcosm, and back then there was about 1,000 people in the Facebook group. I did grow this group to 10,000 people in my first 6 months, right? But you want to know why? Because bitch, I was doing lives. Okay. So inside of my little microcosm, I was controlling the door. I was controlling who was here. I was controlling who was not here, right? I was controlling what the fuck we were talking about and what we were not talking about because I was, the goddess of my own motherfucking empire. I created this little world, right? And so I got to pull the strings. I got to do it my way. It's my house, my motherfucking rules, right? I get to say cunt on a live if I want to. I get to send emails out that have the subject line that says you bet your butthole, even if it pisses off all the Karens, even if people are fucking throwing a fit with me. I get to do whatever the fuck I want because it's my motherfucking house. But that's not how it works when you are speaking in other people's audiences, is it? Okay, so guys, if you want to be able to close clients from doing public speaking in other people's audiences, this is what you need to know. Okay. Number one, you've got to know the fucking audience. Okay, like guys, like this shouldn't come as a fucking surprise to you, but I gotta tell you, it does. It does come as a surprise because I've had people come in and speak in my audience and they don't know dick about my audience, right? They're not fucking asking the right questions, they're not understanding what the hell they should be talking about, and they're not doing a very good job of this, okay? And that causes a massive motherfucking problem. Okay? That massive motherfucking problem here is that you're not speaking to the audience. You're speaking at the audience. And that is not going to fucking help you. Okay. So you've got to make that mental shift of like, all right, who is this audience? So let's play a little game, shall we? You're inside of this fucking group, okay? Unicorn Client Attraction Secrets. So when you think about who is in my audience, I mean, you're in my audience, right? But when you think about who else is in my audience, let's take a guess. Let's take a gander, shall we? Let's think about this audience. Pop quiz. Who's in this fucking audience? What kind of people are in this audience? 35,000 people inside of a group called Unicorn Client Attraction Secrets. You guess, you tell me, put it in the comments right now. What kind of people do you think are inside of this group? And I want you to consider a couple different factors, okay? Number one, right? The title of the group, okay? Unicorn is the first word. So, do you think that most of the people inside of this group really take themselves super seriously? Probably not, right? Judging by what I'm wearing, a Dunder Mifflin shirt, okay, by the way, okay, a Dunder Mifflin fucking cut off hoodie, okay, judging by what I'm wearing and how my hair looks and what I got going on in the background, the fact that I have no makeup on, Do you think that this is a super professional space? I mean, probably not, right? Okay, like probably not. Okay, so you hear me swearing like a motherfucking sailor on a live, right? Okay, so do you think that here we're all buttoned up and professional and wearing pantsuits? My podcast is called Real Unicorns Don't Wear Fucking Pants. Okay, I talk a lot of shit. So it's reasonable to assume that my audience is not taking themselves too fucking seriously. Okay, so you can be a little bit fun and funny here. And if you are stuffy and boring here, the audience is gonna boo you off the stage. This audience does not enjoy pink, white, and taupe perfect little fucking princesses. This audience likes people who, are a little bit raw, a little bit real, right? A little bit refreshing and not so fucking cloistered and buttoned up and professional and fucking boring, okay? So if you come into my audience, this is my house, right? And you are kind of a boring professional person, you're probably going to need to spice it up a little bit. Just like if I went to your house, okay, and you are a boring professional button up person, I'm not coming on to your fucking live wearing this. Okay, I'm not. If I'm coming into your very buttoned up CPA professional CEOs and everyone has a title and everyone's wearing a fucking suit to work today, and I come to your house, I'm not going to wear this. Even though this is my true self, that's inappropriate. Okay, so a little bit of social candor really makes a big fucking difference when you're doing public speaking in somebody else's audience, whether that's on their summit, right? Whether that's in their Facebook group or on their podcast. You want to know their audience, you want to know their vibe, and you want to show up accordingly. Okay, if I go to somebody else's fucking house, I'm going to play by their fucking rules within reason. Got that? Okay, this is a really important factor, and this is something that I see a lot of people really fucking up. So when you're going in your public speaking, you need to know the other person's audience, and you need to know the other person's vibe. Got that? Okay, so when you show up, you got to bring a gift. This is really important, right? Just like in real life, when we go to somebody else's house, we bring a bottle of wine to dinner, right? So we want to make sure that we're bringing a free gift that applies to that audience. Okay, so if you were coming in here and you were going to do a public speaking gig with me, what free gift would you bring from my audience? And I want you to remind you that gifts are supposed to be reciprocal energy, right? So if you bring a gift here, it's going to benefit you too, right? By helping people to join your audience. So this could be an opt-in, this could be a link to a podcast episode so you're getting some fucking downloads, but you want to bring something that is particularly relevant for this audience. Does that make sense? Are we following along here? Is this tracking for you guys? Right? Is that we want to make sure that we're having people on board here. We got to bring a gift, okay? That's relevant for the audience. Now, this is the part that you got to get really good at. Okay, you got to really know how to introduce yourself. And it's boring, right? Be like, oh, I'm going to read this script and I'm just going to say the same thing in every audience. Fucking wrong, okay? You're going to think about this audience. You're going to think about this specific group of people and you're going to introduce yourself in such a way that lights them the fuck up because your introduction itself needs to be a fucking hook. You've got to hook people in. You got to get them to fucking listen. You got to get them to stay on the podcast episode. You got to get them to stay in the summit. You got to get them captivated. You got to rile up that fucking audience. And we do this by building fucking authority. You tell people who the fuck you are and why the fuck that they should listen to you. And you need to do this in such a way that is relevant for that audience. I'm gonna give you a little bit of an example here. Okay, so I want you to imagine that we are at a bartender event. Okay, so if you don't know this about me, I used to be a motherfucking bartender, right? I was a good bartender. I was the president of the Bartenders Guild. I competed in international cocktail competitions. I judged international cocktail competitions. I was a consultant for fucking bars. Okay, I did this shit for a long fucking time. I know a lot of people in bartender land. So I want you to imagine that I'm going to a bar event. Am I gonna walk up on that stage and say, "Hi, I'm Nicole, and I have a Facebook group called Unicorn Client Attraction Secrets"? The bartenders don't give a fuck about that. Okay. They don't care. They don't care about my Facebook group. They don't care about coaching, right? That's not relevant to them. So if I'm walking into a bartender summit, I'm going to lead with bartender relevant information. Does this make sense? right? So I might walk up on that stage and I'm gonna use bartender fucking tonality. I'm gonna get into that fucking vibe, right? Okay, I'm gonna walk up and I'm be like, hey guys, who here wants to take a fucking shot? Yeah, probably all of you. But you know what's funny? I actually haven't taken a shot in 7 fucking years. Can you believe that? Yeah, I used to be the president of the Bartenders Guild. I was an Angels Envy whiskey guardian. I used to drive around with a bottle of Angels Envy under my fucking seat at all motherfucking times. But guess what? This bitch is 7 years fucking sober. And I know that's absolutely fucking crazy, but also, do you know what that afforded me? That 7 years sober built me a 7 figure fucking company using the exact same skill sets that you already have as a motherfucking bartender. That's right. You could be making so much more fucking money. We can amplify your tips, of course, with some money mindset, but you could be making so much more money than just becoming a realtor or just becoming a fucking bar manager after you get tired of being behind the stick every fucking day. So buckle up, bitches, because I'm going to show you exactly how this fucking mouthy ass fucking bartender who used to run the Bartenders Guild built all of this fucking empire where now I have fucking 6 figure fucking months and I make more money sometimes in a week than I used to make in a fucking year behind the bar. So I'm telling you exactly who the fuck I am. Okay. And I'm telling you exactly why the fuck that matters to you. Okay. Why the fuck should you listen to me is about why do you care? Okay, so you've really got to be able to hook people into that audience when you're public speaking. If you can't do this, no one's going to listen. No one's going to pay attention. And if no one's fucking paying attention, you're not going to close any clients. Okay, now you got to think about that intention. You got to reverse engineer your public speaking talk to what you're able to pitch with. So if you're thinking about a fucking summit, right? Sometimes they let you pitch and sometimes they don't. You've got to know the rules and regs of this. So who here's ever spoken at a summit? Have you ever been a speaker before? Has that been a thing for you? The first summit that I ever spoken, um, I think this group was probably about 3 months old, and I was invited to speak in a summit, and I was like, oh my God, I've made it. Okay. I had no idea that this was something that was actually pretty normal and that people speak in summits all the time. Okay. I thought this was a big fucking deal. So I was really fucking nervous going to speak at the summit, right? So I put together my talk, I did all of my things, and I was allowed to pitch at this, but I was like, oh my God, what do I pitch? Right? Like, how do I do this? Right? I was so fucking scared. And then I got to this fucking summit and there were 12 other speakers, right? And actually, I'll let you in on a little secret is guys, all of the value in a summit is actually in the relationships that you build with the other speakers and the person hosting the summit. That's where all the value is. It's not really in the audience, just so you know. Okay. So I got to the speaking summit and I watched everybody go before me, which was scary because you know what all of those people had? Slide decks. Like every single one of them. Okay, they all had PowerPoint slides and it was so boring and they read the fucking PowerPoint slides and I was like, "Oh my God, 100% I'm in the wrong room." This is not what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Or so I thought. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm the black sheep. I'm doing it wrong. I'm supposed to have a PowerPoint presentation and I'm supposed to be boring, right?" And then I got up on that stage and I do exactly what I do here, right? I got in there and I fucking told the story and I did the fucking training and I did all the things and fucking woo, right? I was the only one that closed a client from that summit. I was the only one, right? And like I wasn't prepared. It was definitely my first rodeo. I had no fucking idea what I was doing. But I just went in there and I fucking interrupted the pattern. And that is fucking clutch. Okay. So if you know what everybody else is doing at the summit, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do what everybody else is fucking doing. When they zig, you zag because that's what makes you stand out in a room full of fucking people with fucking PowerPoints and being boring as shit and, doing the very formulated webinar formula. Like, I didn't do that. I just got on and I had a real conversation with people. I talked to people in the audience as people were commenting. I was fucking like literally saying their names on the fucking summit. And I was like, oh yeah, hey Rena, tell me a story about that. Right? I was like, oh hey Adam, tell me everything that you need to know. Right? Like I was literally talking with the audience and I wasn't supposed to do that. Right? But that's what got me a client. Right? Because I was actually conversing with the audience. I was actually doing what I thought you should do inside of fucking public speaking because I knew that I wasn't going to have like all this audience to just pitch my thing. I was competing with all of these other people who were way more established than me, who knew what the fuck they were doing. There were some big names in that audience, my perception, right? It was big names, right? And this guy, this guy who was actually he was very nice, right? His name is Craig, and he was so nice to me because everyone else was so mean to me, and he was so nice, and he worked for Disney, and he did like marketing stuff for Disney, and like a couple years after the summit, he sent me a message, and he was like, "Hey, like I see that you've been really really good, and your audience is so big now, and like my Facebook group totally fucking eclipsed his, right?" And he was like, "I was just wondering if you would endorse my book for me." Right? So I'm on the back of his fucking book, like as one of his endorsement people, when that used to be completely the other way around, right? These relationships that you build can be long-standing, lifelong kind of friendships, and you can scratch each other's back all the way up the fucking chain, right? So don't just think that the whole point of public speaking is to get the clients, right? It's also to build those relationships that can get you clients long term and help you in all sorts of very unpredictable ways. There was another guy that was at that summit that was like the keynote, right? And I can't remember his name because he was a dick. He was so fucking rude. And I was like, this is just so weird, right? It's like, we're all in the same fucking summit. Like, I don't know why you think you're better than everybody else, right? He was such an asshole. And so I don't remember his name. I don't remember anything about his book. I remember that his presentation was boring. And I remember that he was an asshole. So you got to think about that, right? Remember that people don't remember what the fuck we say. They only remember how we make them feel. Okay. That guy made me feel like fucking this big. And so I hated him. I never fucking talked to him again, right? That's not the vibe. When you go and speak in these fucking arenas, whatever that arena is, you want to build relationships with the other speakers because you never know what can come from that relationship. Okay, you want to be able to really foster those relationships so that you can scratch each other's back all the way up the fucking chain together. This is how we build a really high value network. So that's just another reason to create a public speaking opportunities for yourself is to go speak in people's Facebook groups, to go speak at their summits, or even be a speaker inside of their paid containers. This is something that I've been asked to do a whole bunch of times, right? People come and they ask me, they're like, "Hey, Nicole, like I have this group, I have this group of clients, and I would love for you to come in and speak to them about whatever," right? So sometimes this is money mindset, sometimes this is like straight up client attraction strategies, but it's usually like kind of the opposite of whatever that coach is teaching. So I did one that most recently was for seven-figure earners, right? So it was seven-figure women business owners, and she had this like really cool like buttoned up system, and like everybody was like really professional, okay? And like I was like really nervous. I was like, "Oh my God." She's like, "I want you to come and I want you to speak about creativity. I want you to speak about how you built your business. I want you to tell all the things." She's like, "You can cuss, you can go do the unicorn stuff. I don't care what you wear," right? And I was like, "Okay, are you sure?" Are you sure I can say butthole in front of all these professional women? And she's like, "Yes, that's what I want you to do." And I was like, "Okay." So I showed up, and I shit you not, they were all dressed up. Okay, like dressy, like in blouses and red lipstick, right? Like, and I got on the live, and they were like, it's a coaching call. Like in their coaching call, like on the coaching program, they dress up to come to the coaching calls. Guys, I cannot imagine. My clients don't do this. I don't do this, right? Like you come to a nonstop call, like I've got people breastfeeding their kids on their fucking thing. I have people that are in the kitchen fucking cooking. Like some people are laying in bed. Like we don't give a flying fuck about that shit. So it was so crazy to see somebody else's company culture, right? Where I was like, "Oh my God, I'm at somebody else's house and I don't belong here." Right? So I'm wearing my unicorn shit. And I come on there cussing, and people were just blown away. They were so fucking like their heads were like just blown out, right? I got a whole bunch of clients from that because it was so different from what they were, what they were trying to hear, like normally, right? They had this very cloistered, high level strategic development, CEO vibes kind of energy. And I came in and interrupted that pattern with the permission, right? With the permission and the invitation from the person who owned the group. Like I was able to pitch, I was able to talk about my offers in there. And so I wasn't going to go in there and create a competing offer. And this is really important. Okay, guys, like you got to be very mindful of what offers you're going to offer to this audience so that you're not competing with the person who's giving you the opportunity. You want to create a different kind of energetic alignment. So even if it's something that's fairly similar, you want to find something that's different. Okay, so that you are not competing. That's one of the ways that you're going to get clients. Okay, like if you come in my Facebook group and you're like, "Yeah, I'm going to teach you client attraction," and I bring you onto an interview, and like you're making way less fucking money than me, and I'm like, you're going to offer the like nonstop notifications 2.0, like people are not going to buy that from you. Okay, you've got to be smarter than that. Okay, you've got to look at this and say, "What do I do really well that Nicole doesn't offer?" And that's exactly what I did with this woman. I was like, okay, this woman is really great at strategic development. She's extremely good at leadership. She is very clean and clear in systematic development, but creativity is not her spark. Like, she looks like everybody else. She behaves like everybody else, right? And like she's, been doing this for fucking 25 years. And so she's a staple in the motherfucking game. But everybody in her room looked exactly the same. And I was like, okay, she wants me to speak about creativity. Let me make a one-off offer here, right? Let me offer these people $1,000 thing that's normally $5,000, but they can have it for $1,000. That's going to be a creativity session that's going to help you to like really break out of the shell of the fucking pyramid scheme of coaches and create your own perpendicular positioning. Okay, so when I did that, we had a whole bunch of people fucking buy because they wanted to come on. They got that fucking very strategic, like exclusivity discount. That kind of feeling was good for them. But also, I was offering something that this person didn't normally offer. Does that make sense? So, you want to strategically position your offer in public speaking to make it make sense for the audience, but also be very respectful of the person who's giving you this opportunity. Make sense? Okay, so now here's the last piece of this that's really fucking important. Okay, if you want to do these public speaking opportunities, guess what you need to bring to the table? An audience. That's what they want from you. Okay. A lot of times you can't get onto these summits if you don't have an email list of 5,000 people or more. Okay. A lot of times you will not be considered for these speaking opportunities if you don't have a Facebook group, if you don't have a total audience, if you don't have somewhere where you're going to drive traffic and contribute to this environment. A lot of times you're excluded from this. And so this is just another reason, right? Why you want to build an audience. When we build a connected and cultivated audience that we can use in all sorts of different ways to, yes, of course, close clients, but also leverage more opportunities, this is what gets us into bigger and better rooms. Okay. So when you're thinking about like, all right, I want to do public speaking. Okay. I want to go speak in somebody else's audience. I want to do summits. I want to be able to grow my audience from going to do this. I want to be able to get clients from doing this. You've got to bring something to the table. Okay. And the thing that people want you to bring to the table is audience. They want to see that you have a big fucking list. They want to see that you have a bunch of followers on Instagram. They want to see that you're willing to promote their thing with them. They want to feel that reciprocal energy because, spoiler alert, that's how summits become valuable. Hey, a summit is not valuable. If I throw a summit and I don't use other people's email lists and I just throw a summit for you guys, I mean, I might as well have just done a launch, right? Like, that's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. The point of doing a summit is that I'm capitalizing on other people's audiences. If I'm going to be the host, then I want you to bring your email list of 10,000 people, and I want you to send out invitations to that email list to drive traffic to my summit so that we can share those audiences, right? And so all of a sudden, I take my 120,000 people that I have in my audience and we combine that with your 10,000 and somebody else's 20,000 and somebody else's 5,000 and we all share audiences and now we all grow together. So that's all ships rising on that same tide, right? So you've got to bring something to the table. And the more people you have on your email list or the more people you have in your total audience, the more valuable you are, which is going to afford you better positioning within the keynote speaking list. It's going to provide you more perks for this, and it's also going to provide you more leverage. So let me give you an example of this. So obviously I get a lot of speaking requests. People send us, emails and they're like, hey, can Nicole come and speak at this thing, right? Guys, I love to speak. I love to come into your audiences. And quite honestly, I'm not a fucking snob about this. I know some people fucking are, and they're like, I don't speak in audiences that are small, that they're this. I do. I will go on your podcast. I will come fucking hang out with you. Okay. Like, I don't do that shit because I don't like it when people do that to me. Okay. Back in the day when I was a little fish, right? Like, I got snubbed at the door. I don't like that shit. So I don't do that to you. I've been on a whole bunch of tiny little podcasts. I've been on a whole bunch of speaking panels, like for in very small audiences because I'm not a jerk. Okay. But if you come to me and you're like, hey, Nicole, I want you to come speak at this summit. And I'm like, okay, awesome. Like, I can definitely do that. We'll check the dates, figure it all out. Right. But then you're like, I need you to send 10 emails to your list. I'm like, we're not doing that. Like, I'm definitely not doing that. I'm not going to take a summit opportunity where maybe there's like a total of 10,000 emails between all of the other speakers and then send it out to my total audience of 120,000 people 10 times. I'm not going to do that, right? That's too much. You're trying to ask too much of me. And because I do have a big list, I can say no to those things. right? Like I don't have to do that. And in fact, a lot of times we won't agree to sending out any emails, right? I'll agree to letting you use the social media platforms, right? We'll put you up on our Instagram, we'll put you in here, but a lot of times I will not allow any access to my email list because this is like the most valuable asset that I have. But because I have such a big platform, that affords me the luxury of sometimes being able to say no. Okay, so I get to create that leverage point, which is a lot different than a lot of other people. A lot of other people have to completely play by the rules. Does this make sense? So this is exactly why you want to be building up your email list. So quick little question, how many people do you have on your email list right now? What does that email list look like for you? Guys, this is something that you've got to grow. Okay. You want to get public speaking gigs. You want to get clients from public speaking gigs. You want to have leverage points. You want to get higher up on that roster for the keynote. They are looking for audiences. Okay. And you know what's great about building email lists? It's free. Okay. Like you can build an email list for fucking free. It does require work. It does require fucking energetic alignment. It does require that you fucking have intention around this, but you don't have to pay to build email lists anymore. Okay. Like you can pay, right? You can go buy email lists. That's a motherfucking thing, but you can also build email lists from Facebook groups, from your Facebook group, from other people's Facebook groups, from your personal page, from your Instagram, from your motherfucking TikTok, right? Okay. I have a client who fucking like took her very, very small email list. She probably had like 2 or 3,000 people on it, right? And now it's at like fucking 20,000 from her TikTok. Okay. So you can pull these people over from different arenas. You can build up those email lists. You can grow them. And that is what's going to get you more speaking opportunities because people want people up on the stages that already have a lot of influence and are contributing their own energetic frequency, their own value into a summit or a speaking opportunity because here's what's going to happen, right? Either you're driving traffic for attendees for people to come and be a part of the summit, or after the fact, you're promoting that summit on your social. So, if I go onto your summit, of course, we're going to grab clips from that and we're going to put them on our Instagram. Right. So you're going to get that notoriety. You're going to get that leverage point of me putting my stuff onto my platform. Like your highlights get all of that traffic. So that's really what we're looking for, right? So that means that you've got to have a really great audience for this, and that's got to start somewhere. Okay. I'm not saying that you have to have 5,000, but I'm saying it's a good number to start with. It's a good number to kick off of saying, okay, we want to put 5,000 people onto this list. So you want to know one of the best ways to grow your email list? Content that crushes. Okay. Content that crushes is my 5 algorithm hacking pieces of content that help you to strategically pull in the right people and get them to take action on your calls to action. So that call to action might be join my email list, right? That call to action might be buy my thing, right? This is how I got 10 high ticket clients in my first 6 weeks, but this is also exactly how I put 1,000 people on my email list in 30 days. Okay, when I first started this, I was super resistant to email and I was like, I don't want to fucking do that shit. I don't open emails. Nobody else opens emails either. And my coach was like, bitch, wrong. You will build a fucking email list. And I was like, oh, right. And so I used content that crushes and I put 1,000 people onto my email list in the first 30 days. And my coach was like, how did you do that? He's like, you have 1,000 like right now? And I was like, what? Like it's hard? I had no idea. Okay. But fun fact, like it's like a ridiculously low number. Like only like 10% of people in the coaching digital marketing space have more than 1,000 people on their email list. I had no idea. Like I just instantly put 1,000 people on my fucking list. I didn't know that it was supposed to be hard. I didn't know that you couldn't do that, right? Okay, so drop some unicorns in the comments and we'll send you over content that crushes so that you can build an email list real fucking fast so that you can set yourself up for massive fucking success and you can get these public speaking gigs because these public speaking gigs are going to help you to amplify your energy. They're going to help you to build your authority and they're going to help you to get more and better fucking clients, which is the motherfucking goal. All right, guys, I'm heading over to Money Making Unicorns. We're going to talk about some specific strategic development pieces that you need to put into your public speaking talks in order for those public speaking talks to be super motherfucking effective. So you've got the basics, you've got the fundamentals all right here, but inside of Money Making Unicorns, my $47 a month strategy-based membership, you are going to get all of the fucking tea and the ability to ask me questions on the live. So get out there, do all of the wonderful things, and we will see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.